everyone. So just because something is healthy or labeled as healthy doesn't mean that it's going to help you reverse type 2 diabetes. So in this episode, we're going to talk about foods that seemingly are healthy but is actually not great for reversing diabetes. So let's start with granola first. Granola sounds really healthy, right? People advertise it to put it on your yogurts and to eat it as a snack. However, granola is actually very high in fat and in sugar as well. Just to give you an idea, this chocolate chip banana bread, guess how much fat it has? One serving, which is half a cup, has 13 grams of fat, and it actually has 13 grams of sugars as well, which is pretty high. So this is going to be higher in glycemic index, even though it does have whole grains in it. And if you are looking for whole grains, I would recommend you to do oat groats or steel cut oats instead. I would not recommend you to do granola. And any kind of these granola I see are actually pretty high in glycemic index because they do have a lot of added sweeteners to it. So let's move on to talk about cereals. All right, let's talk about Cheerios. So these Cheerios may sound really healthy, but if you actually see the ingredients list, you'll see that sugar is on top of like the second of the list as well. So it's pretty high in sugar. If you look at the sugar content, it's actually 9 grams of sugar. So it's still pretty high. And whenever something is ground into flour, it makes it higher in glycemic index. So I definitely would not recommend the sweetened Cheerios. Now, what about oats? Instant oats sounds really healthy and you can bring it wherever you go. So if you look at instant oats, you'll see that it sounds really healthy, right? Because it's oats. But whenever something is instant, because they do grind it so that you can cook faster, it makes it higher in glycemic index. And this one has 7 grams of sugar in it, which is pretty high. So I would not recommend any instant oats. Trader Joe's do have a brand that does not have any added sugars to it. However, because it's still instant oat, it's still going to be higher in glycemic index for some of you. So I would definitely recommend things like oat groats or steel cut oats instead. The next one I want to talk about is peanut butter. Peanut butter sounds really healthy, but you want to be careful which kind of peanut butter you're getting. If you look at the ingredients closely, this has roasted peanuts, sugar, which we don't want added sugars, and it also has hydrogenated vegetable oil. Hydrogenated vegetable oil is actually a trans fat, so they add this trans fat so it doesn't separate the oil and peanuts, so that's why it's not separating. But I would recommend you to find something that only says peanuts and salt, or just peanuts instead without any sugar or added oils. For example, this is great because the ingredients is just peanuts and contains 1% or less salt. So this doesn't have any hydrogenated oils or in it or trans fat in it, and you can see the oil separates naturally, and that's how it should be. So I would recommend this instead of the Skippy brand. So as you can see, you definitely want to be careful of the ingredients list when you shop. Just because something is labeled healthy or marketed as healthy doesn't mean that it's good for reversing diabetes. And if you want to learn how you can reverse type 2 diabetes, go watch my free reversing diabetes training. My link below in the description, and I'll see you guys there.